There's the famous adage that's become famous on Twitter is you get out what you put in. And if you do search out information and you do use Twitter as the wonderful crowdsourcing tool that it is, it's the place to go. You know, I'm going to here, what should I eat? Have you ever been here? You know, why haven't you been? You know, that's the way I like to engage people, and I like to use this tool. So I'll, you know, tweet a photo of what I'm eating and say, have you been here, have you eaten this, because it's fantastic. Or, you know, I'm going to Nota Bene for my birthday for the first time, what should I eat? And just wait for the responses to come in, and they come in. And like Mary Lou said before, if you have a problem or you have a void that you need to fill, you put it out there, and 90% chance you're going to get something back, as long as someone is out there and is listening to you at that point in time.
I think we've become more aware of each other, and I think the best thing in talking to, say, chefs and producers is, and you guys can, you know, tell me what you think about this, but I mean, I've been a food writer now for, you know, almost a decade, and a TV producer for 15 years, and what I see is that there's a, and hopefully this will continue, is there's more of a spirit of sharing, because sometimes in Toronto and most big cities there can be there can be a sense of cliquiness, and you know, certain groups kind of tend to hang out, and that's going to happen anywhere. But what I've seen over the last few years is that there's more of a sense of sharing, and more of a sense of, you know, did you know that this person makes this, or this person can help you source that, or this farmer's growing this, and whereas before these little tidbits were guarded jealously, like, you know, patent trade secrets. And now I think that's starting to change for the better, and people are opening up to the idea of saying, well, okay, here, you know, one hand washes the other. Let's give each other a hand.
Personally, a restaurant that I think does a really good job is Pizzeria Libretto. Broadcast their specials daily. They broadcast their lunch special. If they have fresh ricotta, they broadcast that, and I know that's gotten me there more than once. Yeah. Another one who does a really good job, I think, is a restaurant at the Gladstone. They broadcast their specials, so you know what's on the menu. You know if something's new and interesting, and as opposed to, you know, just going to the website, they broadcast their specials, their daily specials. I really like seeing that. I don't know.
Yeah, like they create cravings, which is, again, as we discussed, something I love to do and I'm passionate about. So, you know, if a restaurant is saying, you know, we got this in, we're doing this, we're doing that, a lot of the times, if they don't make me crave something, and you know, if I already have a plan, sometimes I will change that plan. And also ones that communicate.
Yeah.
That if you say something to them, they respond. It's not just spitting out the specials, which is great, and the food that they're using, but to communicate with people and to have dialogue, and that's the only way Twitter works, is if it's two-way. Because if I say something, or if I comment on something, or if I had a positive or negative experience, you need to engage me.
Yeah, I find the best restaurants that do the best job are those that engage their public, that, you know, as you guys pointed out, create a craving, and also kind of, it's a bit of infotainment. If you don't know much about a certain food, like if you don't know a lot about Khmer Thai cooking, you can get engaged, and you can be like, what's that ingredient, where do you get that? Or about, you know, Mexican food, or about you know, Japanese izakaya or whatever. It's that kind of sharing of knowledge again that I think also engages people, because all of a sudden people have become excited for a food that they may never have tried before.
A great example of using it right was Kaplansky's. So, you know, Zane is great in the way he uses his Twitter feed, and I'm a very big fan of his restaurant, and one day I picked up a sandwich and I didn't like it, and I tweeted about it. And I didn't really expect him to say anything or whatever, and he responded to me right away. He's like, you know, why didn't you say something? He said, unfortunately, I had already left the restaurant, I was in my car, I was driving, and I stopped to eat before I went into a meeting, and I didn't like it. And he's like, you know what, I'm going to make it right next time you come in. Your sandwich is on me. I apologize. It shouldn't have happened.
Tironi doesn't use it, and they are ever so popular. Let me tell you, there's lineups out the door starting at like 7, and they don't have the time or the energy or the want. So if you have the formula nailed down like they do, for, you know, decent quality pasta, pizza at a price that nobody's going to really balk at least not yet, because their prices keep going up, then sure.
I don't know that it's taking over. I think there will always be, everything will always exist, and that's the great thing about the internet. There's room for everything, everyone has a taste for a certain thing and a certain style of writing and certain content, and personally I'm going the opposite direction. I was very long-winded when my blog was more active, and I was very detailed in my writing, and this is something that I've spoken to people about recently, and basically I'm turning my blog on its head, and because I am of the ADD generation, and I understand that I don't read like that, so why do I write like that? I'm actually going the other way, where I'm focusing more on the imagery, and I realize as the picture does, tell a story, let the picture tell the story. Focus on the images, focus on the words, but less words, and just leave things up to people's imagination, and you don't need to tell them every little detail of what's going on.
I think there's two ways to see this. There's what I call the deep divers, people that really want to know a lot about a subject. They'll look for content like that. And for the rest of us who are ADHD and just want quick bites, be it on Twitter or Facebook friends updates, or like little micro blogs, and that is a trend that I have also seen, is people are just writing like 3 lines, picture.
No, I don't. I trust my friends. I don't trust strangers. and thanks to Twitter, I have my own network of crowdsourcing.
I had a very base, like, she was lovely, but she was like, meat and potatoes kind of gal that I worked with in Florida, and she always said to me, Mariluz, opinions are like assholes, everyone's got one. And I'd be like, okay, I never thought of it like that, Bo, but thanks. Good to know. And what I think what she was trying to say in so many things, as in with restaurants and stuff, like, what I think is divine may not appeal to somebody else who doesn't like spicy food or what have you.
I'd have to say I read Chathound for entertainment. like for me, it's just sort of like I read for entertainment. I don't base any trust on them. Like I go to my Twitter feed. Simple as that.
Alright, just call up a friend.
Or call up a friend, exactly. I used it for about 3 weeks.
Did you?
And then I don't think I got it. Like I don't think I get it.
I love it. I use it all day.
You use it all day, every day. Yeah. But I don't get out of Foursquare what I get out of Twitter. I don't learn anything new.
Also, the thing I really like about Foursquare is it's competition, and I'm a very competitive person. So when I steal the mayorship of Cowbell from my really good friend Suresh, it makes me like click my heels together a little bit and do a little dance because I win. because that's what Foursquare is to me. It's a social media tool, but it's a game.
I'm going to the same places every day, so it's just like, how many times can I check in at the White Squirrel?
But you can be the mayor.
But I can be the mayor. Who the hell is Mark Z, and how is he the mayor of the White Squirrel is what I want to know. Oh, fuck.
I'd curl up in
It just comes out, sorry.
I'd curl up in a ball in bed and probably sleep for 3 days and wait for it to come back on. If the internet went dark, what would we do? I guess we would all hang out with each other and get each other's phone numbers.
With the people that you met on the internet.
Right, well that's what we would do, right?
Yeah.
But we would just have to actually physically call each other or text message each other or find alternate ways to communicate.